Welcome to my channel. Today I want to discuss why cultural appropriation is bullshit. Cultural appropriation is the idea that you cannot partake of anything other than that which is directly tied to your race, your religion, your national place of origin, etc., etc., etc. We all know what I'm talking about. I don't think I need to go into it that much. But it is absolute bullshit. Cultural appropriation should be called cultural appreciation. When someone takes something of your culture, it's because there's something they see of value in it, something that they see that is beautiful or good. They like that food or that dress. It touches them in a way that they enjoy. That should be something that you look at and say, yes, something with my culture is bringing joy to someone. And that's a good thing. It means your culture is good. It is touching someone's heart, someone's being in some way, shape, or form that is positive. And beyond that, cultural appropriation, your culture is not today what it was a few hundred or even a few thousand years ago. There is not one culture that exists today that, if you go back far enough, resembles anything remotely what it is today, because culture is fluid. It changes with time. One of my favorite subjects in college was philosophy. And one of the sections that we learned about in philosophy was morals. Are morals absolute? Are they subjective? Are they objective? Well, the answer, at least in my opinion, is that they are subjective. They are subjective to individuals. They are subjective to regional restrictions. But most importantly, they are subjective to time. And so is culture. Culture and morals go hand in hand. Look back upon the Spartans way back when. Their culture said that it was morally acceptable and morally correct for them to take an infant who was deformed and throw it off of a cliff, thereby ending its life. That was morally acceptable, and it was part of their culture. That's why it's so dangerous when we talk about cultural appropriation and people who support it, because our morals are formed from our culture, and our culture is formed from our morals. So we are effectively trying to shut down any kind of change. We are ending cultural evolution. And on another point, I would challenge any individual to wake up in the morning and attempt to leave their place of residence in such a manner that not one single person anywhere in the world could possibly be offended. You would be hard pressed. In fact, I would dare say it might be an impossible feat. You could not wear anything blue. We know blue would offend someone. You cannot wear red. Red would offend someone. You cannot wear cotton because somebody will be offended. You couldn't wear man-made materials either because someone will be offended there. You could not make anything made in China. You could not wear anything made in the United States or the United Kingdom. You could not wear anything made in the Middle East. Any place you buy something, someone will be offended that you supported something created at that country. You could not go out as a male because you will offend someone somewhere, and you cannot go out as a female because you would offend someone somewhere, so you are effectively trapped. If you wish to believe in the idealisms of cultural appropriation and all the other quote unquote social justice warrior mindset, then I suggest you put your idealisms where your mouth is. Practice what you preach, and let me know how that goes. I have been Paramount Cyclops, and I hope at some point someone gleans knowledge from what I say. It seems anymore today that we live in a listen and believe society, and people have forgotten that the purpose of life is to not think about ourselves, but think about future generations and what we leave them and the road that we're going down now. Look at the type of people colleges are spewing out. College, when I went there, was a place to have your belief systems challenged, shaven down, the bad parts shed, and rebuilt better with more truth. That's what college was and should be about. It was never about making the students comfortable. If you are comfortable in college, then you're probably taking the wrong classes. How do I appeal to every genre of people? If you're a gamer, imagine playing a video game and the only people that you play against are people of equal skill to what you are at the beginning of the game. You would never get better. You would always stay at the same skill level because you are never challenged. Same goes with sports. Same goes with any job that you have. Same goes with life in general. I challenge every single one of you to challenge your belief systems. I put my belief and my actions where my mouth is. I will read every single comment. I enjoy the debate, I enjoy the discussion, but one thing that I think everybody has forgotten is this. Not only should we weigh the evidence that the other side gives, of course, to weigh the evidence, you must hear the other side. And when I say hear the other side, I mean actually listen to them and weigh what they say. But we must also weigh our own evidence as well against the evidence that our dissenting opinions give us. That's the only way you can seek truth. You cannot live in a bubble. You cannot go through life blindly in an echo chamber. We will end society if we do that. And you think I joke, but I do not. If we start going down these roads of no due process, and I know people say it is not a court of law with the whole Kavanaugh Supreme Court debacle. But the thing is this. Laws, like everything else, change as well, and they change based upon what culture demands and what the people demand. The laws we have today are not the same that we've had a couple years ago. Laws change quite frequently. Nowadays, just little tidbits here and there, but go back 200-300 years, our laws are drastically different, and they changed because of culture. So if you think for 1 second that this no due process, listen and believe culture won't worm its way into our legal system, then you are not a student of history and you know nothing. As the phrase goes, history is indeed doomed to repeat itself for those who do not study it. We are already changing history, removing things from history books that may be offensive. Offensive or not, truth doesn't care.